Hmm? Nah, we're just gonna roll until he.
What it mean to be the best? Riding foes, feeling unimpressed. Make me reminisce, throwing bows, bend the corner, set my mind up on a goal. All I know is stay down, bad, I'm the goal. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now there ain't no debate. Yeah. Okay, feel like the best, the great. Now there ain't no debate. Yeah. I ain't gotta say much. Know the boy got a touch. Another win for the rush. Another win for the rush. See me once and got a crush. See you twice and that's enough. Get the ring sized up.
What is good, Chiefs Kingdom?
We back.
Tell the truth. We are back. Happy Tuesday to all the great people out there. Usually DMac is the one, hosting this thing and holding it down for us.
But we got it today.
We got it today. Until he gets here, he'll be here eventually soon. All right, everybody. As always, I'm your boy DG. Got my guy CJ is in the building today. DMac will be here in a little bit. Chiefs taking the L on Trevor Lawrence's birthday. And yeah,
Trevor Lawrence's birthday.
A disaster in Duval. Yeah, man. Disgusting loss. Never a way you want to win. The Chiefs find the weirdest ways to lose. It's never just like, hey, this team was just better than us today, or this,
It's always something crazy.
It's always something crazy. It's always something weird. Trevor Lawrence falls down twice and gets back up. We fall down
and we get up. That's like Andrew Luck 2014 all over again.
Nah, man. But what's your initial thoughts on this L, man?
It was bad overall. You never want to lose like that, especially when you don't play your best football. Overall, we put ourselves in a position to win the game amongst all the mistakes. Through all that, what DG just said, if you'd have told me 4-point lead, DG, a minute and a half left, they start in the 40s, so they got to drive, 60 yards, they have to get a touchdown, I would have took Spags in our defense in that moment. We started off that final drive with a sack. It's 3rd and long. It's 5 chance for you to get off the field. Trevor probably makes the throw of his life. That goal ball down the sideline of BTJ, because J. Watt was fully extended, arm all the way out, and that ball literally went right over his finger. So there's really nothing you can do. That's just a perfect throw. So a lot of things we did wrong. Every phase made a mistake. So there's really no reason to point the finger at anyone because everybody did something wrong. Offense turned the ball over. Defense couldn't get off the field. Special teams had too many penalties. So everybody made a mistake. So there's nobody's as at fault more or the other because everybody contributed to this loss. I'm not as upset, DG, because everything that was all the mistakes we made are correctable easily. Like the special teams, blocking mishaps, stop holding Jack Cochran, Nico, learn that you can't double team on a block. Harrison Butker, aim your kicks better. And that one really wasn't like a big one because if you kick it in the end zone, they're at the 35. Out of bounds, they're at the 40. So it's like 5 yards. It's not really like a drive killer. The whole kickoff rule in general was stupid to me. Starting at the 35 is egregious. It's like we went from the 20 to the 35. It's literally like a free 15-yard first down, which is crazy. Offensively, I like what we did positively. I think we moved the ball very well. I think whenever we needed to run the ball efficiently, I think that's kind of the name of our run game, DG. It's efficient, not explosive. We know that. We don't have much speed in that room. So when we need to get first downs, we got it. When we need to score touchdowns, we got those as well. So the run game has been effective for what it's asked to do. Pat made some good throws, extended some plays. For the general part, the O-line played great. I know they didn't have Trayvon Walker out there, but you didn't hear Josh Hines Allen name too much during the broadcast. So people did a good job of containing him. So overall, the O-line played well. We just defensively, man, a couple of DPIs that didn't go our way. That turnover that Nick dropped, man, that was a big one. We should have had that. That I'm still having nightmares about that one. Yeah, Drew was being an AJ Brown. He was being a real deal hater because he didn't want to catch the ball because Nick clearly had that right here, and Drew just came out of nowhere and smacked it. So overall, I'm not really upset. I mean, it's the NFL. You're gonna have bad losses. I remember as a Chiefs fan, as a kid, DG probably knows this too. People didn't even care sometimes if we lost. Now when we lose, it's like national news. and everybody has something to say about the records and division winners and things like that. So it's fun being a winner because when you do something wrong, everybody cares. And when you win, guess what? Nobody cares. So I like it on this side better than when we were a non-playoff team and people were even surprised when we were able to win 10 games. So it definitely sucks to lose games. You never want to see it happen, but we got a long season ahead of us. We got 17 games. So obviously we got one more week till Rasheed's back. Got Detroit coming to town this week. So a lot of things to correct, some mistakes we can get better at, like Pat said, but nothing really to hold your breath over. No really reason to get upset. Just one game. Just got to correct it, get better. As bad as we played, we still had that game in our hand. That's the crazy part, DG. We played awful all three ways. We found a way to lose the game. We still could have won. So that's why I'm not really as mad. So that's kind of my overall thoughts, general thoughts of the game.
Like I said, man, Chiefs find the weirdest ways, especially in the Mahomes era, to lose games.
Facts. Rarely do we just get beat. It's usually off something stupid.
Yeah, I knew eventually, obviously, like the loss to the Chargers, I just felt like the Chargers was better than us.
Yeah,
that
they
night.
just beat us that day.
The Eagles, I felt like they were just better than us that day.
I feel like we made too many mistakes. That can't be. We had that game in our hand.
But this loss is one of those losses I knew it's gonna be one wacky loss in this Chiefs season, and you're gonna be like, bro, we should have lost that game.
No way they should have. That's the Eagles one for me because, bro, I still can't believe we dropped this.
But it is what it is, man. Shout out to the Jags, man. I thought Trevor Lawrence, that arguably might be the best game I've ever seen him play in his career.
Throw of his life.
I know there were some mistakes, early on and stuff like that. But
for sure.
Yeah, he made some throws that I just like I'd never seen Trevor Lawrence.
Look like Clemson Trevor.
Yeah. Yeah. The prince that was definitely promised showed up last night.
Back.
I think initially, it's like you said, I'm encouraged just because the offense, to me, in my opinion, looked like themselves again. That's 2 weeks in a row where they've been consistently able to move the ball, and it wasn't like that was no slouch defense or
one of the best defenses,
bad defense that they were going against. I thought they moved the ball efficiently. A couple drives that kind of stalled out on you, but all in all, to put up 28 points against the defense like that, I can't complain too much. I love the usage of Rashard Smith last night. Which
more and more every week.
Phenomenal. I think it gives them a lot of explosion. I love the effort from Xavier Worthy to go out there and battle.
Gut it out. That's respect. Respect the same for sure.
I think Tyquan Thornton's role is growing and growing.
Bro, his longest reception, we taking that every week, DG.
Yeah.
He cashed it like 4 games straight.
They've definitely found their third option, especially when Rashee Rice shows back up in this offense. So I feel comfortable moving forward, knowing that your receiver depth is gonna be amazing, especially now with when he gets back, you'll have Hollywood and Juju being your 5 or your 6. To me is awesome moving forward. I was really encouraged by how the offensive line played, tackle, especially from the tackle perspective.
Shout out to Josh Simmons with the dealing with the stomach bug, whatever he was dealing with. So
Josh went out there and went up against one of the better pass rushers in this league.
You didn't hear his name too much.
Yeah, and pretty much was able to control him. Jawan, another clean game in my opinion. I know he had the one penalty, but that wasn't his fault. That was on Quan. That wasn't him. Yeah, basically
that wasn't on him. Tyquan lined up. Jawan, you good to me, buddy.
So I think the tackles played fairly well. I thought the interior played fairly well as well too. Little bit things I think that they can clean up. There was points in times with Trey Smith. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or if he's trying to. I know he got a little bit rolled up on last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be affecting him a little bit. I know he's probably trying to gut it out, but there were some points in times where he got beat sometimes, especially in the run game, which is really weird because that usually doesn't happen for
exactly.
I know moving forward it'll definitely get cleaned up. Defensively, I'm
generally they only gave up 17 points. Real points they only gave up 7. Going into that drive, it was because the touchdown for the pick 6 don't count. So going into that drive, they only had given up 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So outside of the last drive, they had a decent game. That's overall a decent game what you asked for. You got 2 turnovers. So I can't really be too mad at them. Like
I'm not too mad at them. What I'm more upset about is the schematics.
Yeah, how we go about business for sure.
Yes.
Same.
I understand, and I've been saying this for a while. I understand, Spags and his ability to try to get guys to play at different positions, but there are points in times where I feel like you've got the guys on your sideline that can play a certain position.
Facts.
Just put them in.
Do you think Spags be experimenting too much early on? We said this before. He does a lot, especially when it's early on to know later. Yeah,
I think that there's points in times where he's trying to figure out what works well. I said this to somebody earlier. I don't want to be the conspiracy guy, but to me, Shamari Connor playing that much last night and him being from Jacksonville, I just kind of feel like it was in front of
his family for sure.
Yeah, in front of friends and family is probably the reason why his snap usage was really high last night, but not at the cost of making him look bad at the slot position.
Facts.
He's I think Spags has got to realize like he's not a slot.
He just can't do it, bro. Some safeties can, he just can't do it.
Yeah,
and that's okay. Doesn't mean he can't play. Just means, bro, he don't need to be in the slot.
Yeah, and then to put him in a position at the end of the game and to put him up against their best receiver.
That's a terrible matchup.
Yeah, like, bro.
Terrible matchup.
I don't understand how it's 3rd and 13, right?
Game on the line.
Game on the line. You
put him, huh?
If I'm Trevor
Lawrence, where they're going to.
I forget De'Ami Brown. Forget Parker Washington,
Brennan Strange.
Yeah, I don't care. Travis Etienne, I don't care.
You know who the ball going to.
I'm going to 7. And it's no other person on this field that I'm going to go to and give a shot and chance to. Just because I know how special it is. You see what the play he made.
They did on 3rd down. On the third play of the drive, for sure.
Right. So, and this is the crazy part. It's after a timeout. So we get a timeout.
We can go and talk about it. Like, hey, how are we gonna match up? Who got who? You know what I'm saying?
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, bro, it's 3rd and 13. Obviously, they're gonna try to put Brian Thomas Jr. in the best position possible, which is probably either in the slot or somewhere matched up against one of our, worst corners or whatever. You got an all-pro.
I would say Trent. You got him
corner.
Facts, bro.
On your team.
And you say no.
Hey, you say, you know what?
Shamari, you got it.
Shamari, get in there. Shamari.
That's why I laugh, bro, because Spags just be experimenting with shit.
It's Jacksonville. Like, it's your time, big fella.
It's your time, big dog.
In front of the family, everything. You just go out there and make the game winning play.
He wanted bro to have his moment. So
like, I don't.
It's like,
and I was just sitting there. I kept thinking about that play all because, like, if Shamari gets his head around
slightly,
just for a split second,
clean play,
they can't call that play, and Brian Cook picks it off, and we win the game. Right?
Ball game.
I'm like, how do you, after a timeout, sit there and say, you know what, Trent, go out there and guard Parker Washington.
Oh, on 3rd down, with the money.
On third and 13. I need you on the outside, not against their best receiver. I just don't. I don't understand it. Man, I still got all the love in the world for Spags. I think he's a genius. But there are points and times where you can tell his scheme and the things that they want to do sometimes work against them. I've been saying it for a while. The edge position for sure is a spot where I feel like they're gonna have to eventually evolve it. Yeah. This league is getting to a point where it's too many guys that are coming, especially into this league, that are mobile and can move. I mean, I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence.
Legs.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not Jared Goff statue, but he can move.
Yeah, right.
He's like in between.
So I applaud Spags for some of the things he does, but last night to not even think about spying him at certain points in time, I was like, what are we doing? How do we go from playing Lamar Jackson the week before and having a great game plan for him to now it's Trevor Lawrence, and it's like, you know what? We're gonna rush for, and that's it. And drop everybody else, and Trevor Lawrence is gonna run on us. It just made no sense to me. I really don't understand what the game plan was defensively last night. From a special teams perspective, man, that unit was terrible last night.
And the crazy part is, a lot of our returns were good runs.
Yes.
Bashar has some explosives. Nico has some explosives.
Yes.
The runs and the pathway for the returners were great. The execution, to DG's point, was terrible. Jack Cochran, I'll give you one block on holding for a kick return, right, DG? You go correct it. You get the tablet out. You watch the film. Hey, Jack, you had your hands outside shoulders. Okay. You can admit, I can admit that when I'm wrong. I messed up. The following play, DG, that shouldn't happen again. You did the same exact block, the same exact way. We just talked about this. The refs are going to be looking at you because they just called the first one on you. And you're on the edge because you're trying to set the wedge for him to get the seam. So, DG, what he should have done is get in position and turn himself almost kind of horizontal to the sideline, right? So my hands are forced to stay inside. So now I don't have to necessarily – he's trying to stay square, but in doing so, the obviously the kickoff guys running down knows you're trying to stay square. So he forces you to have to try to reach outside, and your hands get caught outside. So you should have came at him at an angle, put your shoulders towards him to where he has to come through me. And if he does decide to go upfield, guess what, DG? I can wash him down the block. Yeah. And then Bashar can cut off beside me. But those are just little adjustments that I know him and I know Tobe are going to make. And then the Nico block is tedious. I get it. Like, if somebody's engaged, I can't hit you when they're already engaged. I mean, I guess.
This is the first time I was like, what? I've never even heard of that penalty.
Like, it's kind of like on the line of scrimmage. Like, if I'm a tackle and I'm blocking you, the tight end can't come in and, try to, like, win block. Like, you're already engaged. So I can't. I thought it was like you're not allowed to cut block, of course. I thought if I'm engaged, I could still, double team. But apparently with the new kickoff rules, if it's not an initial double team, you can't add a second blocker because the up man's already blocking him. Nico comes in and tries to add the block. Yeah, you can't do those things. So I get the concept. I don't like it, but I understand it. I'm more so understanding if it's like, hey, we're not allowed to cut block because, you don't want anybody taking out your feet. But on this one, if a guy's already initiating a block, you can't get off it. Because look at these. Like, these are some great returns by Bashar. He had multiple of these. So that's the encouraging part, that him and Nico are seeing the vision. They're seeing the lanes that Tobe is trying to create via the returns. We just have to work on, like DG said, our execution of how we're going to block them up.
Yeah, and I like for Jack Cochran, man, like you cannot have those types of penalties.
You can't do it twice, bro. I'll give you the first one. You made a mistake. You can't do it twice.
Especially when we don't have that much time and field position matters, bro. Like that that last one, I was so upset because I'm like, bro, you just cost us almost 10, 15 yards that we need right now. We could have easily, I think with 23 seconds and 3 timeouts, pass getting us in field goal range.
For sure. All it takes is one big play.
Virtually, we don't know what would have happened because we got to talk about him as well, too. Harrison Butker continues to cost this
every
team.
week. He's making a mistake, bro. Like he didn't miss any kicks this week with this, bro. I get the concept. He's trying to angle it so the returner has to stay on one side of the field. I get the point. He just have to execute it better. If you're going to angle it, make sure you're aiming it towards the middle of the end zone. So if you do miss slightly, you still have room for error. Don't just aim it straight for the pylon, because if you miss, it's going out of bounds. Yeah. So I get the concept of what he was trying to do. And generally speaking, this one didn't piss me off as much because if you kick it in the end zone with the new kickoff rules, you start at 35. Kick it out of bounds, you start at 40. So not really like a huge difference, 5 yards. But like DG said, it's still annoying that Harrison Butker is still making mistakes.
Yeah. To me, like you can't. Okay. Here's my rant about it. It's a Bennett 45. You have to know the situation, right? Okay. First of all, why are we even angling the ball?
Because there's no need to, really.
There's no need to. Kick it off to them, allow them to return it, so that they can run time off the clock. That's
Exactly.
what matters here. The clock is our enemy at this point. We know they got 2 timeouts. It's 1:45. If we kick it to them and they return it, that's what? We down to 1:37,
minute and a half,
35. Yeah, minute and a half, whatever. Right? So now, not only do they have only 1.5 minutes left, now they're probably at 25 to 30, something like that, possibly, depending on how good, the kick coverage would have been. You get the ball there, you make them drive the length of the field, right?
Yep.
They have to burn more time trying to get down there or whatever. Trevor took a sack for one and at probably midfield or whatever. That burns time.
Man, on second down. Yeah.
We may get to a point where they have to burn those 2 timeouts before they even get into the red zone.
Facts.
So now, like, you giving them half a field pretty much from the 40-yard line. It was, bro, at that point.
All you need is one play. You in field.
I was like, it's essentially over because now one big play, they're in the red zone, which they got the 33-yard pass to Brian Thomas. And now, look, you got what? Maybe 6 or 7 shots to the end zone from there.
Yep.
And one DPI, one holding, whatever. Like, game is over because the ball's going down to the 1-yard line.
Exactly. So now they have to chuck it. Exactly.
Yes. So it's just special teams. I feel like, to me, when you want to place blame, I thought it had to go to the top of the list, in my opinion. Just because it's such a, although it's a small part of the game, it's a big part as well too. Like, all 3 phases have to be playing in cohesion for you to win these types of games.
Exactly.
For you to win the 1-score types of games, your 3 units have to be playing together. Exactly. And I can't believe a veteran like Harrison Butker, you would cost us like that. I expect so much better from you at this point of your career, and for you to know the situation. And it's crazy because he did this last year. You did it last year against the Broncos. And unfortunately, we were able, special teams came up big in that game and was able to bail you out of that.
Yep.
But it's like, I don't know. Maybe the new kickoff rule is something that he's still trying to get used to, which I know a lot of kickers probably around the league are still trying to get used to. I technically hate the rule.
I know
at this point because I think it's
The 35 is egregious. That is not since we've been watching football, the ball's always spotted at 20 after a kickoff. To put teams on the 35, DG, you're literally giving people a free 15-yard first down. That
yes.
I understand 25 yards. 35 is so crazy. That's so crazy.
And the NFL has to change that.
They got to change that. Really that's way too much.
Yeah, that's got to change eventually at some point. I know that they want more kick returns in the game, but honestly, as a fan,
but not like that. Jesus,
I was good with us doing it the old way.
Facts.
I can live without seeing kick returns or whatever.
I'm cool. I don't really care about them to be
honest. But
putting teams on the 35 is so egregious. That changes. That's literally a free first down that you don't have to worry about, DG. That is so crazy to me. That's how we're going to start drives in games now. Hey, bro, 15 yards away from being at the 50. Literally one play.
Right.
You're literally giving teams who struggle to move the ball a free first down.
Gifting them yardage.
Literally. We've been watching. It's always been the 20.
Nothing. Yeah.
Now it's the 35. And if you kick it out of bounds, the out of bounds that I get, that's a fair penalty. You kick it out of bounds to get the advantage, that would make sense.
And
but just because they kick it in the end zone? Really?
It hasn't resulted in more kickoff returns for touchdowns or anything.
That's what I'm saying. We've seen hella. Seen like what, 2, maybe 3 this year? It ain't been that many. So
I'm not sure. DMac, you with us now?
I think he tried to tap in. Psych. I guess.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Give me like 2 more seconds, and I'll be. Yeah, y'all were talking, so I was like, "Damn, I'm sitting here. I can help y'all out while I try to finish this up."
You straight, bro. Appreciate you.
Offensive nitpicks. I mean, if you had to take any negatives, I guess away from the offense,
nitpicks.
What
I mean, the turnover. Like, and the thing about that turnover that one pisses me off way more than the Kelsey drop, because obviously Kelsey should have snapped his head around versus the Eagles, and that interception never happens. For Pat, and I know, like DG said, Harrison Butker is one of the best ever. Pat's obviously the best QB in the league. He's been that way for a while. For Patrick Mahomes to see a double A-gap blitz, DG, and for you blindly to throw that football in the middle of the field, and you thought that nobody was going to occupy that area, is one of the laziest things I've ever seen Pat do. And Pat's made a lot of dumb decisions. But for you to sit here and see a double A-gap blitz with these backers, and you thought, no way in Sam hell they going to leave the middle of the field butt open, you crazy as hell. This would never happen. Either the D lineman and the backer both dropped in that spot. So for you to think that nobody was going to occupy that area is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen Pat Mahomes make. I'd rather you just chuck the ball in the stands than you do that shit. That was terrible. And then you missed a tackle, which is another thing, which Kareem could have got him too. But I mean, the overall, that play should have even never happened. If you were trying to hit a quick slant, which they were trying to run a ball route with Juju, so he's basically going to replace wherever 23 is the backer right there. So I get the concept of what you're trying to do, but you got to know in your mind, Pat, if they're doing a double A-gap and they're mugging it up right here, somebody's going to drop out. It's not just going to be, it's going to be wide open. Somebody's going to drop in that spot, bro. It's an easy coming, like, shift and replace. That is day one-on-one defense, especially in the red zone. You never leave the middle of the field wide open. You make somebody make a tougher throw outside the hashes and outside the numbers. So
Matt,
that was one of the worst decisions I've ever seen Pat make, bro.
Can you go back to the sideline view of that?
Shout out to Taekwon for almost talking him down, though, but nigga was tired.
They should have ran the ball. I mean
that too.
They could have ran the ball down there or whatever, TJ. But this is
a better decision.
Ultimately, this is what they like to do. And I think, in my opinion, running back real quick, DMac. So I think at certain points in times you have to. Can you pause it real quick?
There we go.
You have to give credit to where
they called. This is a good defense. They called it, right?
Yes, this is a great play call.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot Jacksonville's defensive coordinator's name. But
I know his face.
Shout out to simulated pressure, right? So initially, Mahomes is thinking they could be bringing, damn near eight guys at this point, or whatever. We only got 5 guys to block, so I got to get the protection right, or whatever, and probably get the ball out of my hands pretty quickly.
Exactly.
If you run it real quick, DMac. So initially, I think the angle route is open at a certain point, but I think he saw whoever this was at the top. He thought they blew the coverage, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, "Oh, Juju's open. Let me get it out quickly." And ultimately, it's like I said. I just think that this is not only a great play call by Jacksonville's defensive coordinator, but I think this is also something Devin Lloyd recognized.
Yeah, they want to hit that quick route.
Film hey, they like to run this little angle route with a crosser kind of in the red zone or whatever, especially against blitz pressure, because a lot of teams don't pick this up.
Facts.
And it's one of their red zone. It's one of their money plays in the red zone, pretty much. And I mean, sometimes the greatest get got.
He got
bro.
got.
He got
It's just because he threw it so quick. It's like he predetermined, DG, that the middle of the field is going to be open. Yes. And that's the part I don't like, because it's never that open like that. If that in that situation, they're not just going to blitz you everybody and leave the middle of the field open. Absolutely,
especially against players like Devin Lloyd.
Absolutely not. You think they're going to leave the middle of the field to where, and like the reason you don't leave the middle of the field wide open because you have 3 guys who have natural leverage. So I can send Taekwon, Trav, or Juju on a vertical slant under, or just a double slant, whatever the case may be, or get the sprint out concept we were earlier where it's a spot, corner, flat. I can do any combination, but I would never leave the middle of the field wide open because that's the easiest throw. I'm going to make you hold on to the ball, so you have to throw it outside the hashes or the numbers. This is a situation where Pat should have pumped it, seen the linebacker was going, and then he doesn't like it and just throw it away and just eat the play.
I also think this is an interesting and an unfortunate lack of detail as well. You can tell, obviously, Gray at the top of the screen is pressed, but when these corners are lining up like this, with this type of leverage, Mahomes has to recognize they're playing this as if they got inside help. It's not going to be a cover zero. They had run a cover zero blitz versus the Bengals a few weeks back, and the Bengals beat it with a Jamar Chase slant. Kind of a very similar situation. And Mahomes said it. He just got. I think that the angle route to Kelsey is open here personally.
Yeah, that's.
But I think the other thing is if he gets the ball and just fires it to Juju, it also probably is a catch too. I think he really did believe that this was going to be a straight cover zero because he does two things. One, he takes a few steps back to try and invite the rush from these guys to make sure that it's going to be open. And then he never even checks for a linebacker coming over here and kind of lobs it into the middle. So,
predetermined.
Yeah. So it was unfortunate that pre-snap mistake absolutely was the determination that he made that he was going to make that throw. And obviously that's a 10 to 14 point swing, all things considered. So, and Josh Simmons wasn't there to bail him out.
Not this time.
Right, and lower down on that one, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. That was tough, and it came at a time specifically in the game in which you felt like the momentum was up in the air, and the Chiefs really had a chance to take it in that standpoint, and obviously it just goes the complete other way.
Right.
Yeah. I brought up the segment. Also, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Sorry, I'm sorry I'm delayed. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry it was delayed. I had a few things I had to take care of.
That is our ball.
The other nitpick I had here, and I think I'm trying to remember what it was. The end of half execution, in my opinion, was bad, and they get the opportunity here pretty much with a second. Here it is with the 2 minutes and I think was it 38 seconds left there before the half, and they get the ball at a halftime, and the 3 and out on the other side of the half is bad too. But I don't like this design here ultimately, and I'm gonna go to the sideline view because I think it's a good way to look at it. I understand the point of trying to put their best defensive player in conflict and using their aggressiveness against them. Josh Hines-Allen is a really good player that plays under control with real aggression as far as that is concerned. And you get a Bosa, somebody like that, or even a Max Crosby or Myles Garrett, there are ways to kind of manipulate them from that perspective that I don't think really exists with Josh, especially because Josh is is a smaller athlete, but also a better athlete from that perspective too. So I don't like the concept of leaving him unblocked and then running this jet pass across the formation at him. And the other piece that I don't necessarily like, obviously Pacheco is running that little coming across, but that's never going to be Josh Hines-Allen's big responsibility on this play to say, hey, I got to run him down as far as the backside. Exactly. So he is going to be responsible for the edge regardless on that play. So I think this is one of those plays where it looks better
on film
on the whiteboard. It looks better. It looks better on the whiteboard before you actually have to run it out there with Josh Hines-Allen as the guy. And he does a great job of blowing this up. It is a massive piece in the game where this is a moment for the Chiefs in which it's 14-7. You get the ball here. If you continue to drive down the field and get a score, go up double digits in the halftime, you get the ball out of halftime. It feels like a different game from that perspective. And then obviously 2nd and 16, I don't think it ended up going well. We can go through that. But that was my nitpick that I just wanted to point out, that I was disappointed in the way in which that drive started, in which they had a chance to really take control of the game.
For sure.
So yeah, that was really the offensive nitpicks. Obviously, massive interception, a little bit as far as that was concerned. So as far as the pass game in general, obviously Patrick Mahomes had a great day outside of that interception as far as that was concerned.
300 yards.
300 yards. I thought that the variety of Xavier Worthy targets was not as extensive as we maybe saw last week, in my opinion. However, we did get a good combination of that's a piece of it for sure. We did get a good combination of Juju, of obviously a little bit of Hollywood Brown, who made a really tough catch, in my opinion, over the middle of the field on a little bit of a short pass too.
And that toe tap was tough too by Hollywood.
And that I was about to say, and that toe tap was an incredibly impressive play by him too. Obviously, Tyquan Thornton makes another huge play, which you're just going to get one of those every single game. We can count on that from Tyquan Thornton.
That's 4 weeks straight. He catch that long reception prop.
Yep. It's going to be hit every time. And then the other aspect of this that I'll say is that, hey, you got to say it, man. Tip of the cap. As far as I'm concerned, to the offensive line, I thought they were really great all night. They gave them enough time to be able to operate. They just zero sacks. I think Simmons gave up 2 pressures. Juwan Taylor gave up 1 pressure. No penalties. Exactly what you asked for as far as offensive line performance was concerned. So, what were you guys' thoughts on the passing game?
I really thought they moved the ball efficiently, especially to different guys at different times. I love what Tyquan continues to throw to thrive.
Every time they throw it to him, he make a play
in this offense. And he's what I'm really encouraged to see is that he's really becoming really good at finding the open spot when Pat has to kind of do Patrick Mahomes things.
Yeah.
And I think that connection is really, really, really growing. Xavier Worthy continues to, while Rashee Rice is out, continues to be the number one for this team. And I can't wait till Rashee Rice gets back and they can be able to utilize both of those guys. I thought Travis Kelce looked like himself.
They got involved early too.
Yeah,
with a lot of Kelce.
He looked like he had a little bit more juice last night or whatever. The routes would look good. He looked like he played with a lot more energy last night as well. I think overall, man, the passing game was clicking. They look like themselves again, and then I think this offensive line is the reason why. This line continues to play well. Obviously that pressure right there.
A great pickup by Kareem on that to give him an extra second to make.
Yeah, I do want to show I want to get to the end zone view here because this is one of the obviously the aspect of you talk about. Obviously, we just gave the offensive line praise, and you're like, oh, Mahomes just got hit. They this is good design by Anthony Campanelli, who was the Jaguars defensive coordinator. They're going to run, kind of simulated pressure to the left side of the offensive line and kind of show a little bit of that and drop those guys out. And so Creed is still sticking at that center point. So, it's a half slide left. Even though they kept Kelce in the block, he's taking, what's it called? Closest threat. Juwan Taylor's got to take closest threat. Smith's got to take closest threat. What ends up happening, Smith just kind of tries to split the difference ultimately. Kelce again tries to move in. Taylor stays on the guy to his outside edge. Hunt does a great job getting over here, just trying to do his best to hit the guy all the way to the edge. Picked up somebody on the edge, and then it's just, hey, can you get the ball out? And that's what Mahomes is able to do against the free rusher. And even though Tyquan has a step on him, and I'll go back to the sideline to show it. That's just awesome ball tracking. Be able to give your quarterback a chance, and this is something that I've talked about for a while. Like, we can have criticisms as far as Mahomes' deep ball accuracy, and I think some of those are fair. But also, we just haven't had wide receivers that make up for some of those things that other teams have had for a long time. If you're not tracking the ball down the field and making adjustments to either create pass interference, kind of like Hollywood Brown did versus the Giants, or being able to make these catches downfield like we've seen Tyquan Thornton do for the majority of the season, then you're doing a disservice to your team and the way in which they can operate downfield. And so this is a great adjustment by Tyquan Thornton, point blank period.
Yeah, the offensive line didn't to me. I mean, there's not much you can do.
They're sitting in the center pressures late.
This is
now it's 4-on-3 on one side. So
it's just one of those plays. You've got the half slide left. You got the tight end helping out to the right. They end up trying to pick it up the best they can. They end up missing him. And there's a free runner. And the good thing is you got Mahomes and Tyquan, from that matter, to be good enough to beat it. So, you tip your cap to good scheme design for the Jaguars, but you're still able to overcome it in that aspect. That's important. And I think this was a funny one because I think this is going to be the scramble drill one, right? Yeah. Well, not the first scramble drill one, I'll say that. But this one was funny because this is actually kind of a lazy route from Tyquan Thornton, but it ends up working out in the ways in which he kind of settles into the zone off this play action fake. I believe he's going to come all the way across, right? Yeah. He did a little spinorama.
I think initially he's thinking, I'm not going to get the ball. So, but then I think he thinks, okay, let me find the open zone.
It's like, oh, well, all right, I'll keep going.
Okay, then no one's
I mean, he
guarding.
kind of tempoed it by slowing down. He's like, "Oh, I'm the
Yeah.
oh, I am."
That's what I'm saying. It ended up like he jogs through it a little bit, but it all ends up better for the fact that he kind of A, gets lost by the defense, and B, just ends up settling into the right place. And so, like I said, they run a little counter stuff with Kingsley pulling over to help out. Mahomes settles in, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna send everybody this way. You'll scramble a little bit and get it out to you because you found the open place. And again, being available to Patrick Mahomes has its benefits in this offense, and I think that he's done a good job at obviously being able to get downfield in general, but then also learning as far as the second reaction plays are concerned.
Yeah.
I do want to take this moment coming into the season, and this is probably a checklist. I think we made a tweet about this during July. A lot of people, us included, had a lot to say about Kingsley Suamataia. And people thought he would be struggling if not benched by this point. And me and DMac said, regardless of how he struggles, you need to let him play. We're in week 5. I haven't heard too much say about Kingsley all year. So all of you people, us included, who are doubting him, saying he shouldn't start or if he's going to get cut or not even going to be a part of this team, need to walk back a lot of those takes. Because I have not heard Kingsley's name too much this year. He's been playing great ball for us. I know it's early. I'm just saying a lot of people thought he wouldn't even make it this far. We're in week 5. I haven't heard a tweet, a thought, or a post about Kingsley Suamataia. So I just want to give him his credit because he's been hooping for us this year so far.
Y'all told me he was a wasted pick.
Don't look like it. I didn't hear his name too much last night.
That's what y'all tried to tell me. Oh, they shouldn't put him at left guard.
He can't even play tackle.
Yeah, he can't even play tackle. Why is he at left guard? Y'all tried to really convince me this kid couldn't play in the league.
And it's the good chunk of our schedule for the D-lines. We've gotten through it. So
all I kept saying was he needs significant game snaps. You gotta play him. Let him make mistakes. I don't know how else he's gonna learn. And now look, we're through week 5, and Kingsley sure look good to me. Looks like him and Josh are really learning together.
So far, so good.
In the midst of my continual rage tweeting that has continued in the last 24 hours, that's probably going to keep on going. Probably another 72 hours on top of that. I did want to look up what the pass blocking kind of metrics I've said about the way that they've performed. And this isn't an be all by any means, but I will say this: I think that.
So just want to give
yeah. I mean, we're 5 weeks into the season, a little bit of sample size, and ultimately, I think that they've been probably even pretty good against the run as far as run blocking is concerned. And now people will disagree with that, but I think that's more of a schematic issue than. And a lack of running back talent issue but overall, as far as the pass blocking efficiency metric is concerned, as a unit, they're second in the NFL as far as giving up pressures is concerned. And then individually, Josh Simmons is 22nd out of 59 offensive tackles, which I know maybe feels a little bit low. I think he's probably a little bit higher by the eye test, but all things considered, I think that's a good number for him to land at his rookie year. Juwan Taylor's been 5th. he's been good.
Another guy we got to talk about, Juwan.
He hasn't had a penalty in 2 weeks, and when he's not getting penalties, he is really good at his job.
Yes,
that's just the reality of the situation.
Told y'all he's above average. That's all we needed.
And look, he's been a lot better than above average in a lot of respects too. And they said that the penalties have to stop, and they have. So, fingers crossed. Trey Smith came in at 18th out of 56 guards, and then Kingsley Suamataia came at 27th for 56 offensive guards, which again, Kingsley above average. Good for me. That's all I could ask for as far as that is concerned. Creed Humphrey is first amongst centers. So the offensive line has been really good, particularly in the pass protection elements.
If we paid them all that money, we're getting our investment.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people have a lot of issues with Brett Veach, but when you say, hey, can you protect the $500 million investment as far as the team is concerned? Can you rebuild this offensive line after the issues in which you ran out of tackles last year? Here it is. It has been rebuilt. You kick Kingsley inside. He's playing well after a lot of people wanted to bench because he gave up a few quick pressures during the preseason in which he's working through things and getting ready for the season. You drafted Josh Simmons, who was a pick that a lot of people did not necessarily like because of some of the risk and things associated with it. And I wasn't going to call you out specifically, DG.
You can say it. We're telling the truth, bro.
We all had our doubts.
And fortunately, he has stayed healthy, obviously, to this point, and he looks like an absolute steal as far as that is concerned. I was looking through the metrics. He was just below Armand in the overall pressures allowed metric, and then he is just above, I should say, Will Campbell and Membu in the true press sets aspect of it. So all three of those guys have been pretty good tackles. I'm not gonna say anything for that, but Josh Simmons to get him at 32 obviously has been excellent. Where
Amazing
both those guys
value.
were top 10 picks for good reasons, obviously. So yeah, I mean it's been a really good job as far as offensive line is concerned, and again we're going to get to the tape as far as the run game because I do think it's worthwhile to go through. But boys, I can't wait to see this team with EG, man. I think the offense is just ready because it's already one of the better offenses in the National Football League. It just looks like it's ready to go to a different level when you get Rashee Rice back in the middle of it, man. And yes, one more week until we can get it back. We just got one more game we got to get through, and then we get Rashee Rice back, man.
Y'all in trouble. Y'all think it's hard to guard us now.
Can I give Josh Simmons? There was a play last night where I got to give him a lot of praise on because most rookies, I think, would obviously get food on this. Going up against Josh Hines-Allen, who I think is ascending talent in this league,
one of the best rushers in the league,
pass rushers in the league. It was actually on a scramble where a play where Pat took off on, but Josh Hines-Allen tries to go inside, tries to kind of set him up like he was gonna go outside, but then goes inside on him. And that kid adjusted so well that it gave Pat an open. I think Pat's eyes got so wide, like that lane is that open. Like I gotta at this point, it's no reason for me to throw the ball. I need to take just the yards that's ahead of me. And I think it ended up being like a 15, maybe 16-yard scramble for Pat or something like that. But he adjusted so well to what Josh Hines-Allen was doing. I seen that on tape this morning, and I almost cried, bro, because we really got a left tackle now.
Finally,
we do.
Like, it's no longer a turnstile.
It's not and this is I don't mean to be mean to these guys. I truthfully don't. But it's not a what's it called? It's not a stopgap left tackle. It's not a veteran guy. It's a true franchise left tackle that you really truly believe is a Pro Bowl perennial player at the position for years to come. I'm trying to find it for you, and unfortunately, I don't think
I believe it's probably fourth quarter. Or is it on the last? I think it might be on the last drive.
You talking about the play where Pat took off and he ran out of field? Yeah. I think
was the last drive.
Yeah.
We were. Yeah. Which I give credit to the offense, man. That was an awesome drive to try to go win.
That Kareem second touchdown drive was clutch for sure.
That was.
It was an awesome drive, man. That was one of those drives.
Vintage Mahomes right there.
I'm gonna keep trying to get to this play. And you sure it was a Mahomes scramble?
Yeah, it was
the one where he ran all the way down the field. I know what he's talking about. He ran out the left side. I remember what play you talking about. Okay. It was definitely.
I was trying to find the words that I was going to use here. There was that 8 minutes. That 8 minute drive there was that's everything that you want. And obviously, you score with a minute whatever left. That's on the defense, in my opinion, that you got to make that stop there. But to use every bit of that clock and just have a methodical drive and put the ball in the end zone, that's exactly what you want from the offense to be able to do. And it was so impressive to watch them be able to do that, man. I didn't know if they had that type of drive in them, truthfully. I did not know if they did, but they did, and it was incredible. Wait, so you said that
third play on the last touchdown drive. It was like 7 minutes left in the fourth.
Okay, let me see.
It was the 15-yard scramble up the left sideline, like DG said.
Okay. I might have grabbed third play on the touchdown. I'm sorry. No, y'all keep talking.
They said 7-18.
Yep, 7-18. Yep.
Oh, 17. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Pacheco, the run at the play before.
Okay, yeah. So okay. So that was what was throwing me off because I thought it was this scramble, but so it was Devin Lloyd that was on the edge. But it was interesting the way. The way that they reduced it down here, that's why he ended up on the edge. But you're absolutely right, because he did try and can fool him a little bit here.
Okay, my bad. I thought it was Josh Hines Allen, but Devin Lloyd still a great player.
Another great player.
Absolutely.
But I just love the way he adjusts. You can clearly tell he in the middle of the game, his mind is working the whole time. You know. And this is something I think last year, like if we have the tackle play we had, we get beat on this.
It's a different conversation.
Right.
Yeah, and but again, this is when you have the level of footwork, agility, and balance that he brings to the table, man. He's so light on his feet. I mean, he's obviously like there with Lloyd, and Lloyd is doing the little shimmy outside, and he's wider base, nice on balance, not panicking, just saying, okay, where you coming? Are you going inside? Well, I'll meet you there. Don't worry.
Easy work.
We'll cut that off. I mean, he's so good. He's just so good, and there's a lot of these things as well. To talk about. Anything else as far as the pass game that deserves to be shouted out? Like I said, I like the variety that they kind of brought to the table. I was enjoying watching this offense in general, to say the least.
I thought they played a great game. I love the usage of the running backs last night. Bashard Smith continues to get touches that are growing.
Every week there's a little more in the playbook.
Him in the bubble screen game as well. I thought last night, that's the best we've seen Pacheco look in a long time.
He looked explosive for sure.
You know,
he had a couple long runs.
Ran really tough, ran really hard. He was definitely explosive, and certainly, especially when Pat threw to him out in the flat. I thought he was way more. You could see a sense of urgency from him. To get upfield and not try to do too much. Wasn't stuttering too much with his feet. Was just more just let's go get positive yards, and if we got to run over somebody, let's run over somebody. So love what I saw from him. Kareem, I think, continues to be the veteran guy that he is in this offense. Give them the tough yards in between the tackles when they need it. Vintage Kareem going hurdle.
Start putting him in that ATD slip every week.
I did not expect that hurdle. I was like,
that looked like 2017 Kareem.
Yeah, I was like, that's vintage Kareem.
Because normally he does the little bunny hop if he needs to get an extra yard or two and just find a crease, right? But that was a legit hurdle.
I haven't seen that in a while for sure.
Yeah,
it absolutely was. So
I thought all three running backs, man, they get all my credit. I thought they all played great last night.
For sure.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and dig into this run game as far as the total tape of the week is concerned. And like you said, I thought that you saw the most explosive Pacheco that we saw throughout, really this entire season so far. And I think that it rewarded what was a really good front blocking performance from the offensive line. So got a little bit of inside zone here. Nice double teams on the interior. Creed and Kingsley displacing the 3-tech. Trey gives a little, nice little courtesy shove, but Taylor has that handled as far as that's concerned. Then you're getting guys climbing. Kingsley does a really nice job continuing to try and wall it off. Creed continues to kind of get up to the second level, but really they're both just plowing the guy back into him. And Pacheco does a nice job of stemming into that B gap, type fake, gets up into the A gap and turns into explosive play because he sheds a few tackles.
Yards after contact. Great job.
Yes. Beautiful to see the yards after contact.
Our yards
gets to the hole, shakes off a one arm tackle, shakes off another tackle, run through another one, and finish strong. Good job by Pacheco there.
Yeah, love seeing him be able to get skinny.
Classic pop
through the hole, especially last night. He was running. That's the toughest.
That's Jersey pop right there.
Yeah, I was glad to see that Pacheco back. It was great to see because he's such a good guy and things of that nature. I know everybody loves him in the locker room and things of that nature, but to see that tenacious, put my shoulder down and let's go just get positive yards. I love seeing that. No real stutter. The cutback he cut back.
He cut back.
It took him a second. It took him a second to complete the cutback, but he did do it. And there's a few things that I want to point out on this play. One, 13 personnel, 2 under center, run a little bit of that stretch to the outside zone. But when you run it under center, it gives you the ability to get to the cutback because of where the angles of the running back are concerned. And when you can do it from 13 personnel, then things start to open up. They're going to have a heavy box here. They're going to – sorry, the safety is going to walk down on the backside. So they're going to get to an 8-man box ultimately. But that's – this team, because of the guys that they got up front, they can push guys around. It's the 8-man box doesn't mean, hey, we got to be scared to run the ball. We can get that done if we do it in the right manner. One, Josh Simmons on the backside of this concept just does a great job. Hey, I'm going to swipe down your hands. You're going to be going down into the ground, brother. You're not doing anything here.
Thank you for not calling holding on that play, Lyman. Thank you.
And that is not a hold. That is a snatch and you're dead. That is not a hold. That's not how that works. Excellent job here of climbing. Both Noah Gray getting to the second level here. Creed going to get to the second level. Kingsley doing a really good job athletically. Trey also trying to cut that off too. Like I said, good job by Josh Simmons on the backside. Kelsey comes over, washes down that linebacker as well at the second level. Pacheco, again, like we talked about, good vision there. Cutback takes a second, but eventually gets to it, and then he's in the open space and be able to finish the run well. That was just such a beautiful thing for me to see. 13 personnel, under center, outside zone, allowing there to be a cutback lane because of this, the way that the structure of the run is concerned. Pacheco seeing the cutback lane, taking advantage of it, well blocked across the board. I love to see that. And it's frustrating because you know that you can do that, but it's just not, you don't do it all the time, of course.
I tell y'all, Andy and Spags be trolling us. All the things we wanted to see them do the last 2 weeks, most under center snaps we've seen DMac, most play action snaps from under center we've seen the last 2 weeks. All the things we begged for the first 3 weeks we didn't see. And now they're slowly integrating into the system. We saw Brashard barely any in the offense. Last 2 weeks, he's gotten the most snaps he's gotten in the whole season. So everything we've wanted them to do, they're slowly integrating it. It's just frustrating because we know they can do these things consistently. They just hold back on what they can and cannot do sometimes.
Yeah. You gotta eventually let your guys who your road graders be road graders, man. Especially that interior. You already know Creed, Trey, Kingsley, they all want you to at this point to run the ball. I think they live for those snaps or whatever, especially being able to get out and use the both athleticism from both guard positions in Trey and in Kingsley. I think you got to continue to do these types of things and get underneath center and just establish an identity at this point. You know, like we may not be great at the halfback draw trap game from shotgun or whatever. Let's get underneath center and just run it down people's throats.
Thoughts?
No, absolutely. And honestly, it's a mentality aspect of it, allowing the offensive line to move forward and say, hey, we want you to be on attack and really get guys out of there. This is a massive first play here, and this is a 33-yard run by Kareem Hunt. To be able to be backed up there on the 3 and to start this drive this way, in my opinion, was massive for them to be able to actually score a touchdown this drive on the 97-yard drive. This is how you started off too. And again, look, hey, you can have 8 guys in the box, and I think even technically, maybe is that 9? Is that technically 9? Because the safety technically walks down here, or I guess it's
Jordan
walks
Lewis.
In. Jordan Lewis walks in there. So you can have 9 people in the box and still run the ball, right? If you get into 13 personnel to do it, right? Hey, we're gonna run a little bit straight ahead, halfback dive. We're gonna get a little bit of a duo block. Creed Humphrey does a good job getting off of his, cleaning out that linebacker who tries to stop it. Jawan Taylor seals that top side. Great blocking on the front side of this concept by the tight ends and Tunyon and Gray. Hey, we're going to let Kareem get up in here. All right, we're going to take care of it. And he does a good job fighting off the safety and getting 33 yards, man. I just really good blocks across the board. Creed with that reach block does a good job. That Trey, initial punch does a great job of being able to get Creed out in front of him. Mm-hmm. Kingsley's athleticism does enough to get in front of Armstead as well.
Man, get a pancake. Tell me what is he talking about? Run that back, DMac. Nigga, run that back. We ain't gonna skip past that. Run that back. Y'all gonna watch this pancake by my dog Noah. Tell him to get something, Noah.
Put him in the dirt. Put him in the dirt, baby. Put him in the dirt, Noah. That's the stuff. And again,
Noah, what are you talking about?
I thought Travis Kelce's blocking last week was much better. I like to see better blocking from Robert Tonyan and Noah Gray as far as that is concerned. And again, this is an emphasis. You do not need to be afraid to run the ball. I don't care how many they get in the box. If you're under center and you're running the ball with the correct concepts, you're going to have success. This offensive line is good enough to have success. I promise you it's good enough to have success. So, and even with the lack of running back talent, but again, if you get this level of Pacheco play specifically, I think you're going to be fine in that aspect. This offensive line can eat if you give them the right structure to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're built. I mean, essentially, it's what they're built to do, man.
Hey, Chuck, they gonna respect my dog Noah. They said he don't block the busters.
Like, allow them to do what they're best at this point.
Football's not a complicated game, man. When you run the ball under center, play action opens up. Everything opens up for everyone. Most of our explosive plays last 2 weeks have came from under center. That's not a surprise. So,
I don't know why, but Trey Smith on this play makes me chuckle here. Just like, I'm gonna hold on. Don't worry. I'll seal off the edge. Don't worry about it. Little shotgun counter that we like to run at times. Does a good job. Again, this is honestly, like, obviously Kingsley on the backside of this does a good job getting to the linebacker. Josh Simmons cuts off that three technique getting down there. And obviously good job by Jawan sealing off Ogba. But this is a Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith touchdown. Let me get up to this linebacker. Devin Lloyd, you're going to be erased. Trey Smith cuts off that C gap for him to get open there. Hey, we're going to open that up, or that B gap, I should say, to get you open into the end zone. Kareem Hunt finishes the run with power, man, and that's a touchdown. So great job by Creed and Trey on that.
We have a good formula. Pop on first, second down, Kareem on short yardage. And then Broussard on third down. Looking like a little formula in that backfield. Starting to come together.
I love the usage. I love the usage of using Kareem at the goal line. I think he's obvious, and I think this is why the red zone offense is going to get better. Just because if you continue to use Kareem's vision
double pull
down in these areas,
easy work.
Yeah, so like he finds the open area,
great
and is able to get into the end zone with his contact balance sometimes too. Sometimes
that's why they be in the meetings, DG. I told y'all we can run the ball at a shotgun. Y'all said we can't do it.
Yeah, I know. And again, it's the shotgun runs are frustrating, but they are useful, to an extent for the way in which they design the offense. I think the balance that they had between under center and shotgun was a lot more palatable ultimately. But the big thing here, and this is really good play design by Andy Reid. Trey Smith. Travis Kelce is going to go across this formation. Hey, we're going to get the guy coming out here. Now look, Lewis. Lewis has to play with outside leverage because you can't just give him a free release to the outside as far as the goal line is concerned. So Lewis is out of the picture now in this play. But you get the numbers advantage back on the weak side of the concept because guess what you're going to do? Get some athleticism. Kingsley Suamataia pulling. Travis Kelce pulling. These guys crash down, get that front side sealed.
Get you one, Kingsley.
Great head placement, Kingsley. Make him go around.
Absolutely. Kingsley Suamataia, helmet upfield, sealing off that backside edge, making sure he's not going to be able to get through. Noah Gray comes through as well. I mean, I should say, Noah Gray helps seals off the front side. Travis Kelce comes around just to make sure that Murray can't get to it. Kareem Hunt makes sure that Devin Lloyd can't get him on the backside. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful play to be able to run down inside and good play design with the motion to set it up as well to get you the numbers advantage. Well executed across the board.
Put him in the dirt, Kingsley.
Was that 42 that got invited to the dirt?
It was a half pancake. It was more like a crepe.
It was a $silver. It was a $silver pancake.
He made a business decision. He didn't want to eat that.
Dirt meat player.
I'll still give Kingsley credit though. We'll put him on. We'll keep him up with our pancakes for the season. I'll put him on the board.
Just look at the after the play. You can just tell. It's like, damn.
He's like, I ain't want to hit that, man.
Right.
I don't do that.
That's a 300-pound man.
Running full speed.
Yeah, dude. We'll finish it off here. I did want to talk about the 9-yard touchdown run ultimately from Patrick Mahomes. A little bit of option play. Is that Juju coming across? Juju coming across the formation. Get Hollywood Brown on the initial. Only five linemen here, no tight ends. But hey, Ogba, you're going to be on blocks. We're going to work off of you. If you come crashing down, Mahomes, go ahead and keep it. And I'm going to go to the sideline view in a second here. Mahomes keeps it. He's going to beat Emmanuel Ogba outside. But I want to show the other side of it because it is important. Again, this is where the RPO game does matter. And I know it is frustrating at times to see us do it. But let me see. Hold on. We're going to let me get to it.
Pat
I may need to select a new play to get to it. All right. Hold on a second.
Pat Nick, man.
Put them legs out, boy.
So they get Hollywood Brown over here. Juju's going to come to the bottom of the screen. Obviously, similar to the touchdown last week versus the Ravens, where Mahomes, or no, versus the Giants, where Mahomes pump fakes it. Obviously, to Travis Kelce outside, and again, this is where good play design adds up and can get you an advantage. Travis Kelce and Hollywood Brown to the bottom of the screen. That's going to immediately widen these two DBs at the top of the screen that you see here. They're going to be attributing for, hey, does they throw it outside to Hollywood Brown with Travis Kelce blocking? That's an element of the RPO concept. Amon-Ra is put in conflict by the Mahomes and Pacheco at the mesh point. He crashes down. Mahomes now has an advantage. Hey, one of y'all got to account for me. And if you don't, then I'm running to the end zone. If you don't, then I can throw it out to Hollywood Brown. Mahomes easy into the end zone there. Just awesome ability to be able to use that play design early and tight. And again, when you truly do establish that you have a rushing attack, then these things start to matter for the defense. And it makes your red zone offense that much more potent, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, I love how the safety in the corner, when they see Pat coming outside, they immediately take leverage and run towards Travis Hollywood, basically leaving Pat a wide open lane. We don't run these plays, obviously, these much, especially in the red zone, to get Pat the option because, like DMac said, we never hand it off. So usually it was just unfortunate when we do RPOs. It's like a PO, it's never an RPO because we always pull the ball out of it. But for Pat actually to be in that moment and to be aggressive and try to go get a goal, this reminded me of that run he had versus the Buffalo game in the playoffs. When he's going towards the goal line, we were in a similar type of concept, and he gets aggressive and tries to get his hand in the end zone. And Pat's been doing a lot of that running aggressively this year, knowing we had to because we haven't had the guys to get open. But even on this play, guys respected Kelce and Hollywood, so gave him a free lane for a touchdown. So, and he catched me out, so appreciate you, Pat.
Guns up, Texas Tech, Pat.
Looking like Tech, baby.
The other way, Tech. Was it this one? Yeah, so this is the last one. This isn't necessarily a run scheme design, but this is just me wanting to tip my cap to Patrick Mahomes. The way he gets out of the sack, ultimately, just the functional strength that he possesses and the flexibility he has, I thought was incredibly impressive on this particular play.
I know Bobby got a video compilation right now. All them workouts they be doing in the summer, this is exactly what they be doing.
This is
runs through 2 tackles, stumbles, picks back up, gets the first down.
That's why you lift all them weights.
Man, there are points and times where I know guys are playing on the field, and you play up against a guy that just he's that guy, man. And this, I know for the Jags defense, this is gonna be one of those moments where it's like, bro, that's just Mahomes. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah, the 300-pounder dragging him down and broke the tackle.
And for those that had the misfortune of listening to the broadcast, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck swore he was down when he had this guy draped all over.
Facts.
But yeah, it's one of those play when they do the top 100 list. I think this is one of the things players will talk about. Like it's just Mahomes things, bro. Like it's just one of those things where he makes a disastrous play into a 5-yard gain just because he's just
ain't got a first down.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll wrap up the tape of the week as far as the run game was concerned, because I thought it was important. And like I had said coming into this game, this was a very interesting control group for the Chiefs, in my opinion, because the Jaguars are a good team. They've been playing good football, but this was a good defense, a standardized defense. How did you perform? And the offense, outside of a nitpick as far as the handling of the end of the first half, coming out of the second half, and a nitpick of obviously the Mahomes interception. Outside of those 2 aspects, they were really consistent and had a great game, in my opinion, from start to finish, with the passing game, with the run game, and the designs. So obviously frustrating outcome, all things considered, but a lot more positive signs, in my opinion, for where this offense is going to be at moving forward. And it starts in the trenches, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. If you'd have told me our O-line would have been playing like this in camp, I would have been very excited. So, out of all the things we've been through the last year, to see the O-line play at the level they are, and they're only going to get better with time for Josh, even more so Kingsley, I think the league is in trouble for what this offense can do. Defensively, a little let down at times, but think that can be corrected schematically as well. But I think offensively, the biggest question we have with the O-line, I think so far so good on that part. So,
Well, the funny thing is, if you told me that the offensive line was going to play like this during the preseason, I would have said there's no way we were under 500. But
yeah,
alas, we are here.
I know. Right?
So you guys did a good job of going over the issues as far as the special teams was concerned. I'm just going to ask you this question because I'll be honest, to sit here, we could go through the defensive issues, and maybe we will in a future matchup, maybe versus the Lions. They'll give you some
they're going to go at you for sure.
They're going to go at you, and that's going to be a different thing we'll get into. But I want to just ask you guys, what is the one thing, if you could wave a magic wand, you would change on the defense schematically, structurally? And I'm not saying like, we'll leave the trade stuff to a little bit later on as we get close to the deadline, in my opinion. But more so just like, hey, in-house thing we can fix immediately. What's the one thing that you would do?
Keep Trent in the slot, please.
Get your cover, yeah.
Especially when it's third down and they got the best receiver in there.
Please, and my thing is get your cover guys on the field, bro.
In the right spots. It felt like we did that last week and the week before, and then we went right back to what we were doing the first 2 weeks. Like I told DJ, I think Spags is experimenting with things, and I don't get why. There's no reason for the push party in that spot. We've already figured that out, that's not his best spot. That's his weakness. So for him to go back to that on third down, DG, that's malpractice. Yeah. That's super dumb.
I think we fully know what this four-man front is going to continue to look like. They're not going to win with a lot of speed or win very quickly at that point. So I think it's indicative for you to get your best cover guys on the field. Noah Williams, Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson. At this point, they all have to play significant snaps. And I know Spags. This is such against his thing, bro. Trent's an all-pro corner, and he plays certain routes so well, bro. Like just for once, let him travel just a little bit. Just give him the opportunity especially on certain downs, the money downs, third downs or whatever. Give him the opportunity. Hey, Trent, you got such as especially this coming week. Like you got Amon-Ra. Wherever Amon-Ra goes, you got him. He's your guy. You stick to him like glue, just because you seen. I know Trent had the one rep against BTJ. He pretty much ran the route for BTJ.
Facts. Locked it
up.
He was frustrated after that route too.
Yeah, that was
when he ran the dig. I remember that one. Yeah.
Like, bro, I don't know what else. What else do we have to what else does he have to show you? And then I just think allowing Noah Williams to only play 3 snaps
after what he played, like what
unacceptable
last week. What he go down for? That don't make sense.
Yeah, just coaching malpractice. He's clearly shown you that he's capable of being out there and being able to be trusted at this point. I think Jalen Watson continues to play serviceably well as CB2 to this point. I know that they're getting Christian Fulton back here soon or whatever. So I think that can help. Maybe him and Noel end up splitting snaps or whatever. But you gotta get your best. If your front four is not gonna win, you gotta get your best cover guys on the field, man. Just and at least allow that front four a little bit more time on the back end to get home.
Facts.
It works hand in hand, but Trent, this is the reason why Trent McDuffie's an all-pro. Like, he's phenomenal, dog. He's
sitting on that.
Yeah, like he knows what's coming. His intelligence is perfection, or whatever, and you can clearly tell he frustrates the hell out of guys, especially the guys in this league that really love to run routes.
Absolutely. So you guys named that. I mean, McDuffie in the slot, that's an immediate fix as far as that is concerned. No Williams on the outside, and then obviously if Fulton is healthy, no him on the outside as well. I think Hicks and Cook have to be the safety duo as far as that's concerned, and mix Hunter in. But again, just not in the slot. Just can't do it. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yeah.
I would also like to see a little bit of Jeffrey Bassett, but I know I'm not going
And
to
more
get that.
Christian
So
Wallace as well too. We all know.
yeah,
That.
no,
He should be
yeah,
getting more
yeah.
snaps. I know that'd be
Yeah.
the fourth safety in the group, but he should be getting more snaps.
I also think Omar Norman Lott last night was missed.
A little more juice up
There were
front.
points in times where I know today, my guy, man, Chris Jones. I
Gotta
know
take
he's
that one
probably
on
going.
the chin, champ.
Yeah, I know he's probably going through a lot, especially with everything that's happened over the past couple of weeks with his family and things of
Facts.
that nature. But yeah,
Gotta own it, bro.
he looked completely gassed out there. I'm not sure what his snap. I know his snap counts was really high last night, but I think getting Omar Norman Lott back in that rotation will obviously help take a little bit of pressure off of Chris Jones. But you know, I can't blame people for being mad at the effort at the end. It is what it is, man. You just gotta take it on the chin.
You said it before I could, as far as that was concerned. But I will say this: if you could wave a magic wand, like I just said, and make sure that he is healthy, Omar Norman Lott, that is, for the rest of the season, I think it'd be massive, because they clearly just need him out there for what he can provide. And again, there are issues that I have with the way that they've handled him. And, you know, I can get into those later on, but all things considered, they need him out there badly. I still think they need to go out and acquire a defensive end. But again, conversations I'll have later on. I do want to offer, if you guys don't mind me ISOing real quick, for before we get to the Lions stuff. I have an impassioned defense of Chris Jones. Going back to week one, we talked about this, of course, with the Justin Herbert scramble to seal the game. I said it then, and I will say it again. The amount that we put on this man at 30 plus years old to play the snaps that he does and be the entirety of our pass rush, because we don't have enough of a complementary guys along the defensive line. It's insane what we ask him to do. And he continues to show up and do it. Even after attending a funeral on the day of the game for someone that unfortunately passed away incredibly suddenly. So he comes into this game, in my opinion, plays a solid game throughout most of this game. People were like, he's not showing up. I disagree with that. He was getting double teamed a lot, and I still thought that he was trying his best out there to create some pressures, which he did. But that week one game, everybody's like, he took an inside move from the edge. You can't rush out there, et cetera, et cetera. Here he is. This is 2nd and 4 on that last drive. They put him outside, and guess what he does? He does the exact same thing, because he knows his job is to go and create pressure. Beats the tight end inside, gets inside the left tackle enough, gets pressure on Trevor Lawrence, and flushes him. The only difference between what he did versus that Justin Herbert scramble and what he did here is simply the fact that they had Leo Chenal on the field instead of a third defensive lineman that was going to make no difference on the play, like they did when they had Mike Daniel lined up next to Chris Jones. They had Leo Chenal on the field so that he could spy and mirror Trevor Lawrence whenever he got out of the pocket. Leo Chenal goes, runs him down, Karlaftis helps out, and they clean up the sack. So again, big time play, Chris Jones outside on the edge, and we ask him to get a two-way go, create pressure, because that's what he does on a consistent basis, and he did exactly that. And the only difference is Leo Chenal was on the field like he should have been week one, in my personal opinion.
Amen.
And I say that, obviously, still going throughout the game later on in this drive, after playing the entirety of this drive, they have the Trevor Lawrence touchdown, in which he's kind of standing around after Trevor Lawrence goes down and gets back up, et cetera, et cetera. There's a mess across the board. Also, for what it's worth, and I will say this, if he got tackled, it wouldn't have mattered because Brian Cook was holding the end zone.
But at least he had to rerun the play. So.
Right. But so, again,
it was holding on the play.
All things considered, I understand why people saw that play and said Chris Jones has to give better effort. I 100% get it. And I actually will hear that criticism a lot more than the week one criticism, because there were other contextual things that, in my opinion, matter more to talk about what happened in that week one thing. But I will offer an impassioned defense of Chris Jones in this sense. We cannot continue to ask him to do so much for this team and continue to show up every single week for how much he does and then say, hey, if you take a play off, you're the worst thing in the world. Chris Jones continued to create pressure. He did it again in this game. And we need to be able to continue to recognize that. And guess what? Brett Veach, Steve Spagnuolo, whatever you guys want to agree upon, the number one thing at the deadline for this team is to get defensive line help.
Speed,
Absolutely.
please.
Point blank, period. It has to happen.
Please.
Because you cannot continue to go on and allow this to be the way it is. You have to get defensive line help. It's inexcusable the way in which this team can't get home with 4 and is not helping Chris Jones. They have to do it. And I understand the running back stuff. Like, it's cute. It's nice for fantasy football. I don't care. The running back room is fine when you run the ball the way that needs to be run and the way that they found a nice mix between the 3 guys. I truthfully feel that way. This offense is going to be elite when Rasheed Rice is back. You got to find another pass rusher badly. And I know people are like, those guys out there? Yes, those guys are out there. One guy got traded earlier today to the Chargers. You can find those trades, man. You got to get them, and you got to use them, Spags. You got to get Chris Jones some help. I understand the criticism, but I had to defend him because it's the reality of the situation that we're living in right now.
Facts.
Anything you guys got before we turn the page?
Nah, man. Just gotta, this loss for a lot of people, just grill it up. It's short week. Eat it. It is what it is, man. You gotta move on.
Watch your film, lick your wounds. Let's go. Got a good team coming in here on Sunday night.
I know that's what the team is doing. So,
Yep.
as a fan, you gotta do it as well too.
They move on. We got to move on. It is what it is.
Yeah. All right. So that's funny. So as far as Detroit is concerned, I understand why you feel that way. I understand why you feel that way, KT. I understand. A lot of difficulties matching up with Detroit.
Brother.
Yes.
Obviously, they run the ball very well. Offensive line isn't as dominant as it was, obviously, in years past, but they've certainly found their groove in the recent matchups that they've had since that Week 1 loss versus the Packers. Obviously, the weapons are, elite across the board. 2 really good running backs, one of the best in the National Football League as far as Jahmyr Gibbs and everything he can do, catching the ball in the backfield, let alone running the ball. Amon-Ra, true elite number 1 wide receiver in the National Football League, obviously operating mostly out of the slot. Sam Laporta, one of the better tight ends in the National Football League. And Jameson Williams, who honestly isn't really even getting used that much because they don't need him, but an elite deep threat that can kill you with one explosive play. And then obviously Isaiah Tesla, and they've got other role players too. So incredibly difficult matchup for this Chiefs defense that obviously, as we just went through, has schematic problems that they need to change. I would ask you guys, obviously, what is the mismatches, to say the least. But do you guys have anything that you think the Chiefs can get after as far as this Lions team is concerned? They don't have to worry about the QB scramble as much. I suppose that's a positive.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be
the
the
quarterback back there this week.
Main thing for me would be have an emphasis to stop the run, especially on early downs. Not letting Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery get a full head of steam. And then Jared Goff beat you. I know that might sound crazy to a lot of people. Put your best cover guys on the field and just make Jared Goff do it. Make him go throw for throw with Patrick Mahomes. And I mean, I know people are going to sit here and say, like, well, he's done that before. Like, but essentially I think that's the one way you can beat this team. You gotta put the ball in Jared Goff's hands and make him prove it to you again and again that he can do it. You don't want, and I say this, I was like, Jahmyr Gibbs is one of my favorite players to watch.
Jahmyr is a dog for sure.
He's elite.
Nice,
he's explosive. But yeah, you don't want to let him get going and get downhill and make you look silly. So that would be my thing. Make Jared Goff beat you and pray.
CJ, what about you?
No, it's going to be a hard matchup. Always, I think we've kind of held ourselves to that standard the last few years here in Kansas City. of stopping the run. I think we've done a good job of that. We did it well on Monday night. Travis Etienne finished with 49 yards. So that's back-to-back weeks with holding guys under 50 yards rushing. So I think we've done a good job of doing that so far. Obviously, this is a get-back game for us because they beat us in our opener a couple of years ago. And I think Montgomery had a really good game that night. So I think coming into this matchup, it all starts up front with stopping the run. It's a hell of a way easier to say than it is to do with action because Gibbs and Montgomery are easily the best duo in the league right now. It's kind of like a smash and dash concept. You got a speed back with Gibbs who can also run for power. Montgomery's more of a shifty back who can also run with a little bit of speed as well. So it's going to be this is probably easily the toughest task offensively that we've seen all year. From a ground game standpoint, from a weapon standpoint, like DG just said, they got a playmaker at every level. They got a tight end and Laporta who can make plays. They have a go-get-it receiver on third down and Amon-Ra. They have a guy that can score in one play like DMac said in J-Mo. They have anything you can want on offense they can do. So the only really weakness is Jared Goff not having legs. So to DG's point, you stop the run on the early downs, force Jared Goff to beat you, move him off his spot. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that as well. So don't let him stand in the pocket and be a statue. Flush him to the right, flush him more so to the left so he has to turn his hips and make a throw. I think we'll be able to do those things and confuse him, but that's the biggest matchup for me. Defensively, I know they lost a lot of DBs. They lost 2 more corners on Sunday, which is a big loss for them because they can't afford too much any more losses in that secondary. They don't have that much depth. But I think at a corner spot, we could take advantage of the youth they'll have out there. They'll probably have some guys that will get called up from practice squad who are probably going to have to play a lot this week. So that'll be a good asset for us. But the biggest question mark of this team is how do you slow down that offense because it's going to be a big task for sure. I'm way more worried about that side than our offense for sure.
I love that I asked CJ a question about one side of the ball, and he always covers both. I can always count him. I can always count you cover both. But no, you got obviously to the offensive side of it, and I completely agree with you as far as the defense is concerned. DG, you got to have an emphasis on the early down rush to give yourself a shot. And I was looking up the stats here. So the Jaguars were a minus 0.09 early down rush as far as that was concerned. So, and I think it was, 40% success rate, which is a little bit good. So it was okay. It could have been better. I thought they were fine on the early down rushing, kind of task, and which was a masterpiece of the Jaguars game plan coming into this. And obviously it's going to be a masterpiece of the Lions game plan coming in here. So they did an okay job. Omar Norman being back for this game would help a lot significantly, in my opinion. I would also stop playing Derek Nottie. Like I said, Broderick Martin, Zach Pickens, bring either one of them up. You should have kept Mike Pennell. That's been a misstep for whatever reason it was, whether it was a Brett Veach thing or Steve Spagnuolo thing. That's been a massive mistake not having Mike Pennell continue to be on this roster. But as far as offense, like you mentioned, Reed is going to miss this game. Is it Reed?
Him and Arnold, both of them.
No. I was trying to make sure that I didn't have him.
DJ Reed. Yep.
Yeah, because he swapped. Stevens went to the Jets, and then Carlton Davis went to the Patriots. Yeah. Yep. So DJ Reed is going to be out for this game. Going to be out for this game for a while. And Terran Arnold is going to be out for this game. So the Lions are really decimated as far as the cornerback position is concerned. Obviously, no Rashee Rice, unfortunately, but the Chiefs wide receiver course played well. Juju Smith-Schuster. Obviously, Hollywood Brown made a few nice catches. Tyquan Thornton has been, a revelation. They seem to not only want to use Jalen Royals only specifically for that little orbit motion in the backfield, which is a choice, I suppose. Not exactly the role I imagined for him to start this year, but it is what it is. So I think the wide receivers will have an advantage, all things considered, though, especially the top 4. Versus these Lions corners, and they have to find good ways to be able to use them as well. Their second level is a little susceptible, in my opinion, but they are still very good up front. Tyreek Williams has been a nice run stuffer for them. Aiden Hutchinson is a complete monster. There's no 2 ways about that, to say the least. So talk to me a little bit as far as offensive matchup for the Chiefs versus this Lions defense, DG.
I think this is the side of the ball where it's essentially you're going to have to win the game on. Offense is going to have to show up because obviously you don't want to get in a shootout with Detroit, but you're going to have to put up points to beat this team. So I think this is a matchup where you can take advantage of. Like we said, they're kind of hurt in their secondary. So I would clearly try to take advantage of some of those younger DBs that they're probably going to roll out of there. I think that especially looking at last week, them going up against the Bengals. They still gave up like 24, 27
A lot of
points.
late garbage time points.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so it was it was a lot of garbage time. And Jamar Chase made some plays. Obviously, T. Higgins got a touchdown too. It was a lot of garbage time, but in my personal opinion, I would not necessarily use their performance versus
The
the
Bengals.
Bengals. Who else have they played? I would not use their performance
At
versus
the
the
Bengals,
Bengals
the
or the
Packers,
Browns because
Browns.
of how bad that is. They got after the Ravens defense, obviously, but the Ravens still put 30 up on them, and that wasn't necessarily a garbage time thing either. They destroyed the Bears, though, to be fair. Gotta, gotta say that point blank clear there. Well, I'll say this. It was a little garbage time for the Ravens. The Ravens had 24, but all things considered, that's still worthwhile as far as that's concerned. I think you could put up points for some. Go ahead, DG. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
no, you good. I just think you can be able to move the ball. Some of the same things you did against Jacksonville. I think you can have some of the similar success and be able to push the ball down the field. I like to see a little bit of the explosive plays come back with Xavier Worthy and just test the limits and see what you can be able to get. Put some of those young DBs in a bind. Make them have to go make a play or whatever. And if they do, they do. Obviously you want to stay away from their guys that are playmakers on the field. Brian Branch continues to blossom as one of the better safeties in this league. Obviously, they got a monster in the pass rusher in Aiden Hutchinson, but I really think outside of that, there's not a guy on that defense that you clearly that strikes a huge fear into you or anything. So I think that the Chiefs should be able to move the ball. I honestly, the same game plan they came with Jacksonville is what they should bring out and roll out there on Sunday night in Arrowhead, in my opinion. And just continue to keep using their explosion at this point. Tyquan Thornton, Xavier Worthy, I think they should both have big games.
Yeah, the way in which this offensive line is playing, obviously they faced a lot of tests. Obviously, the Eagles in week 2, Giants in week 3. I think that they dominated the Ravens as they should have. They did a really good job versus a nice Jaguars front this week. Now comes a different type of test, but still one that I think they are really prepared for. And Aiden Hutchinson is awesome. He is spectacular. There's no two ways about that. He is going to provide some issues that you're going to have to deal with. But Josh Hines-Allen had been playing awesome to start this year too, and they were able to mitigate a lot of things that he brought to the table, really outside of that one jet sweep. So I think that they'll be ready for the challenge in the trenches and give themselves a chance to get after the secondary. It's just, again, the thing that ultimately comes down to this, and this is just kind of full look at before as we get into kind of the trifecta. It's just, can you limit the mistakes? You got to limit the mistakes if you want a chance here. It's going to be a high scoring game. I don't think the defense can really shut them down. You're going to have to score 30, in my opinion, 30 plus if you want to win this game. You have to be able to limit the mistakes. You can't have key turnovers. You can't have key penalties. It was completely undisciplined last week. It was just unacceptable. So if you want to win this game, it's going to be high scoring, and you got to be able to come out ready from the jump as well. Don't let them just jump on you and be able to run the ball and kill the clock for the rest of the game. So true trifecta. What were you saying?
Y'all going to defer if we want to toss, or you want to kick it?
I'm deferring. I always defer. You move the ball out of second half. Obviously you got to take advantage. You have a chance to double jib, in my opinion. But no, there's very few circumstances and very few teams that I say, hey, we gotta jump on top of them. The Lions are close to that, but I wouldn't necessarily. Yeah, I wouldn't. I still want to defer. And have that second half advantage. So for Tell the Truth trifecta for the Detroit Lions and Chiefs coming up this week, you guys got plays you want to lean into?
Kareem on ATD. I think that's pretty safe.
I'm not mad at it.
Whatever, I would probably say whatever Pat's over on his passing yards this week, because you're gonna
he better cook that.
You're gonna have to throw the ball for sure against this team. So whatever that is, I probably would take that over on Patrick Mahomes passing.
Over on his Is passing. I think that you're going to see again more zone because they probably are not going to be too comfortable even with their aggressive style with trying to play man versus these wide receivers with their corners. Which, in my opinion, presents an opportunity to run the ball. Because again, if you get a zone heavy team and you can get into 13 personnel and know that they're not going to be too keen on those things, and yeah, spreading it out, you can still be able to do that. But a lot of the offensive line to eat moving forward from that perspective too. So CJ took the Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. DG obviously going with Patrick Mahomes over. I don't know. This is kind of tough. I don't want to take Juju's yards again, even though he keeps.
I got a good one. Take Brashard's receptions. Been laddering every week.
Yeah,
just take this play. He went from 2 to 4. And I think he had 3 last night. He's been clearing that line. That's a good prop.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
Probably like 1.5 or something like that.
Yeah, they've been giving him a 1.5 line the last 2 weeks, so that's an easy cash.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Or just take the Taekwondo exception, whichever one you prefer.
I was about to say, I think I'm gonna go back to the well and just go with Taekwondo longest reception. For me personally, I'll go with Taekwondo longest reception, Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown, and DG going with Patrick Mahomes over passing yards. So get after this line secondary, man, and give yourself a shot at this game. X factor and game picks, fellas.
X factor for me.
Go ahead.
Let me see. Jaden Hicks, you're gonna have his hands full a lot. Got to play a guy like Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra, middle of the field. That's where a lot of the big plays for Jared Goff like to be in the middle of the field. We know that's where the game is usually won or lost. So I think Jaden Hicks is my X factor. He's going to get his hands on an interception or some type of turnover because they're going to throw the ball a lot in his way. So he'll be my X factor. And my game pick, Chiefs money line. I'm going to go Chiefs 34, Lions 31. I think it'd be a shootout for sure.
Nice. X factor for me, I think it's Trent McDuffie this week. The matchup, I would love to see the matchup between him and Amon-Ra. Just allowing him to follow him and go wherever he goes. I think this is the sole matchup that you can do. You can be willing to allow him to do this with. Game pick.
Just win the game.
Figure out a way to it. Shit. I picked this in Sports After Dark last week and we lost. So maybe I'll just put. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do some reverse juju. I'm going to take the Lions. Okay.
That's my day. You don't get to steal.
He said that's my line. You don't get to steal my line.
I'm going to take the Lions 28-24, and I hope that it happens. That's so
fair. Fair enough. My X factor in this game, I'm gonna go here. If they got any type of shot, in my opinion, Omar got to be healthy and he's got to play very well. As far as the trenches are concerned, that's just my opinion. So I'm gonna roll with Omar Norman as my X factor. And as far as the game picks is concerned, I got the Lions 34, the Chiefs 24. I think they control the game, and kind of salted away the Lions.
You're watching this, Chiefs.
Yeah, please. I tweeted this earlier today. I tweeted this earlier today. I said I dare them to prove me wrong.
Yeah, make me look like an idiot.
Please do. And I'm not picking it for the Jinx. I think the Lions, and we're actually going to get to it right now. I think the Lions are playing the best football in the National Football League right now. So all things considered, I think it's going to be tough to beat them. But hey, if you do it, then you're right back at 500. Getting Rashee Rice back, and I'm sure those vibes are going to be right back to being extremely high again.
Geno Smith riding the town.
You know what that means?
Yeah, with the Raiders coming, that's always going to be fun.
This will be a big momentum shift game right here for sure.
We had a lot of shakeup last week as far as the power rankings are concerned. Lions should be number one. Do you have any specific team that you want to put at number two that hasn't let us down? Obviously, Bills lost, Eagles lost, Rams lost. Packers were on a bye week. We lost. Bucks had a big win versus the Seahawks. Chargers lost.
I have to put
Colts
the
won.
Jags somewhere in there.
The Jags find their way into the top 10. Steelers.
Yeah.
Were the Steelers on a bye week as well? Who's the number 2 team for you guys? Eagles losing to the Broncos. Just moved down to 2.
I think it's
You
still
can't
the
move the
Eagles.
Broncos up that high. The Chargers lost too.
Bucks.
I think it's still the Eagles. In my opinion.
Oh no, I was about to say Niners had the best win of the weekend, but I don't know about number 2. But yeah,
I'd keep it Eagles. I know that they lost, but at the same time,
it's hard to make an argument with somebody to jump on. Yeah. Right now.
No, that's fair. So obviously, like I said, Rams lost, Bills lost, Bucks moving up to 3 for you guys. Like I said, Packers on the bye week.
Bucks at 3, impressive win out there against a winning team.
Shootout with Baker.
Yeah. You know, especially with the injuries that they're dealing with as well too. No Bucky Irvin, no Mike Evans. Still was able to go out there and get a dub, but Mecca Booker continues
still trash. So
yeah. But you know, still able to put up the points, man. Baker and the Mecca are cooking, and that connection seems like it's really growing. So yeah, Bucks at 3.
Bills lose at home to the Patriots. Colts move up after destruction of the Raiders.
Probably say Colts. Yeah, Colts 4. Maybe slide the Bills back at 5.
Yeah.
You would drop the Packers after their bye week from 5.
I see Packers could have been on that list too.
Yeah, I mean you can move them there too. I don't know.
Colts. Who in a game between the Colts and the Packers right now? Probably.
No, I think Colts 4, Packers 5, and then
I'm cool with
Bills 6. And then we got to drop, in my opinion, after that game. The Seahawks lost. We got the Rams. I'm sorry, the Chargers got to drop out. It's not looking good for them right now. Rams, Patriots, Jaguars, Broncos. Broncos could get some credit for beating obviously the Eagles.
I'll probably say Rams.
I know the Rams lost, but I still go Rams too.
Jags,
Broncos,
and then probably Patriots.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Well, yeah, I want to reward the Niners somehow.
Honorable.
I
think that the Niners win was impressive. You know, to go out there with Mac Jones or whatever, but you obviously got to question: is it sustainable at this point?
Obviously, and the Bills' defense is suspect per usual. So,
yeah, that's super fair. Total 3 power rankings of the week: Lions 1, Eagles 2, Bucks 3, Colts 4, Packers 5. 6 Bills, 7 Rams, Jags at 8, 9 for the Broncos, 10 for the Patriots, and the honorable mention, the Niners. So that is all we got tonight. Do you guys have anybody later, Wes? I don't have anybody.
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay. Well, DG got it. DG lays somebody to rest.
Packing it up.
Jake Browning, that gave you life.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, come on down.
Sayonara.
If you losing your job to Joe Flacco, it's packed up, brother.
And he's in the division, and he lived like 3 hours away from you. That's how you know they don't like you.
And they traded for Sleepy Joe
at 40 years old and gave up a 5th round pick.
Yeah, in the division too.
That man lived 3 hours away. That's how you know they don't like you.
Nasty work. So Jake Browning, it was a good run. You got
back home, brother.
You got a very beautiful girlfriend. Going back home, brother.
Hey, yo, DG, wow, he had to bring that up.
I didn't think about it, but yeah,
that jumpsuit was crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
That jumpsuit was crazy, no lie. Jake Browning, because they have traded for Joe Flacco, and you could not do anything as far as throwing the ball to T. Higgins, brother.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Goodbye, Jake Browning. They gave you life. You've been laid to rest. Underdog Fantasy. Use code TRUTH3. $100 deposit match. WNBA Finals. Only got a few games left there. Ace is about to wrap that up. MLB playoffs in full swing. NHL, NBA starting up soon. And, of course, football in full swing, college football stuff. Hey, October, like did you just say, Boosttober. Make sure you guys get over there. Sign up for Underdog Fantasy using code Truth3 every single week. They have not every single week, every single day, brand new profit boost for you guys to put on your plays and get ready for that. Obviously, we will continue to have the trifecta plays coming out for you guys. Join Bet the House Sportsbook, link for CJ. Make sure you guys hit that up. Always send plays in there as well on Discord. Money to be made, fellas.
We cashing tonight. Matter of fact, just hit a link.
And of course, Wings and Things game day box. Make sure you guys go ahead over to Wings and Things. I hope you guys went over there for Monday Night Football. At least got some wings out of the deal.
Really good at least.
And of course, Sunday Night Football coming up to end off your week against the Lions. Make sure you guys head over to Wings and Things and tell them Kingdom Cast sent you. Make sure you get that strawberry lemonade with that game day box as well. Anything, fellas, before we go ahead and get out of here, man?
Nah, man, just to the fan base, flush this loss, bro. It's over. Move on.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. We got a lot of season still left. I hopefully don't see no woe is me's and things of that nature or whatever. It's a lot of season still left to play. A lot of ball still left. So
yeah, I know what life was like 10 years ago. You'll be all right.
Yep.
I'll expound upon this later on, but regardless of what happens this week, and I truly do believe this, and I am somebody obviously that is on the pessimistic side. Obviously, I picked against the Chiefs this week. Even if they're 2-4, I'm not scared of what the Chargers look like with the offensive line and how that looks. I'm not scared of the Broncos with Bo Nix. I'm truthfully not. This team still has the opportunities to win the AFC West. And even if they don't, the AFC looks prime for the pickings, in my opinion. I still think that they can have everything in front of them, no matter if they do lose this game the upcoming week. Stick beside this team, guys. Don't lose your mind. They will get this right. I truly do believe that this offense is going to be elite. They'll figure it out on defense enough to get the job done. Yeah, man. Get ready for Sunday Night Football, back-to-back primetime games. Detroit Lions coming back to Arrowhead. Ready for it to go, man. Peace out. Go Chiefs.
Chiefs.